You are listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast. This is the place where content creators come to learn how to create profitable content that positions themselves as an authority and grows their online businesses. Get ready to take your content to a whole new level with your host, Kristen Poborsky.
One of the biggest issues that I hear for newbie content creators, especially my students in my program, is really finding the time and being smart about creating content in a way that doesn't suck up all their time and gets them to pretty much be where they need to be. So a lot of people think, well, gosh, I can't create content because I don't have the time and I don't have the team to help me do this. And in today's video, I'm actually going to I'm going to dispel that myth, and I'm going to cover exactly the little process that I use. And yes, I have a team, but I actually do most of my content creating by myself and editing, and then I hand it off to them to the last part to post and automate it for me. But I do it for myself from time to time, and I have been doing it for quite a long time, and I've really got it down to a system. So in today's video, I am going to cover how to plan and pick the best topics and figure out where you want to put it so that you can repurpose your content from platform to platform in the easiest, fastest way I know. And also, of course, more importantly, get engagement. Then the second thing is I am going to talk about my system that I use to batch create content. I highly recommend that you do that as well. And then thirdly, I am going to talk about automating your content, because this is one of the biggest mistakes that content creators forget and they overlook, is they post content once and it never sees the light again. But before we get into today's topic, I wanted to introduce myself real quick. I'm Kristen Poborsky, and I help healers, coaches, and consultants dial in their content creation, including creating courses, in a way that helps them build their audiences, get leads, and turn them into paying customers, okay? I discovered the power of content creation way back in 2014. I was a struggling virtual assistant. I had clients that were, I was pretty much at their beck and call, and I was miserable. I would go on vacation and I'd be working and my family having a great time because I was so, I had to just work for my clients. They did not understand. What I ended up doing is I discovered a way to help me automate a lot of things that I do for them, especially in content creation. And it's what I teach inside of my content creation program, Smart Simple Content Marketing. And what it has done for their businesses has gotten them a lot more visibility, built their audience, turned them into leads and paying customers. And I have one client in particular. He's been able to raise his rates 3 times what they originally were, and he still has a waiting list of about, I think like right now it's 6 weeks, and his business didn't even slow down during the pandemic. Okay, so enough said. Let's dive into today's topic. And I also want to remind you to stay to the very end, because I'm actually going to cover 2 topics, 2 questions that I get all the time, because people want to know if they want to hire someone, where to go to find that person, and number 2, how to delegate without paying for an expensive system in a way that gets them up and running and working for you without you having to oversee them 24/7. Okay, so let's talk about the first thing that you want to do. And that really is to create a plan for your content, right? You want to have a plan for your content, and you want to pick the best places to put it so it goes to work for you right away. Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you to do. You want to look at your products and your services, and you want to align all of your content to what it is that you do for your clients. That's how you build an effective content ecosystem that will help you attract your ideal client and turn them into paying customers. Okay, you don't want to get outside of what you know and what you do. However, if you want to talk about like mindset and things like that, that's great, but it needs to relate back to what you do and how you help, okay? And you always want to bring that and tell people, give examples, tell stories, things like that. That's called seeding, and that is how you create desire for what it is that you do, okay? But I want to interject here. What you really want to do when you're getting started is pick places where your content can be evergreen and that it's working for you 24/7. So what I usually tell my students and my clients is that you want to start out with, for sure, your blog, because that is the central area where you want to send all your traffic, right? But you also want to pick other platforms that are going to work for you 24/7. And the big one really is YouTube. And why I say that is because video content is really what everybody wants these days, and it's so easy to repurpose it. So start there with a plan that aligns your topics with what you do. Create videos, put them on YouTube, and then repurpose them everywhere you go, every other platform that you want to be on. All right, so that's what you want to start out doing. Then what you want to do is you really want to build a system around batching your content. So what does that mean? It means that you want to get out of the business of creating a single piece of content every single week. That's just going to burn you out. So what I'm doing here today is I am filming a batch of content that I've already have scripted out, okay? So what I do is I use a simple script. I write an outline. I know my topic, so I'm not looking down at my script, which is right here, but I'm not looking at it all the time just to kind of keep myself on track. But I have all these scripts because I'm talking about different things. It all aligns with what I do in my business, and I sit down and I film. Like today, my goal is to film at least 6 videos, okay? So that's what I'm doing today. So that I've already created my scripts. Today I'm filming, and then the next thing I'm going to do when I'm all done is set aside some time, and I'm going to batch edit everything that I do so that it's ready to go on YouTube and get streamed over to YouTube and put on my website and then pushed out on social media. So it's as simple as that. And when you do it that way, it becomes, you can focus more and you can get a lot more done in a short period of time. Okay? So the third thing you want to do is you want to automate your content, okay? So you want to automate it, and what do I mean by that is that most people only put their content out there once on social media and they don't rotate it. This saves a lot of time, or they think they have to have a virtual assistant or somebody like that to post for them every day. But what you need, what's smarter, is to use a tool like Tailwind or Meet Edgar, and I've got the links right down below for you so you can go check them out. And what you do with those is that you tee up your content. You tee up your content, you put it in there, and it rotates your content out on social media for you so that you're not stuck doing it 24/7. So there really are 3 tips for you to create content. 1, pick your topics, create a plan, pick where you're going to be. Don't try to be everywhere. Number 2, batch create your content and then automate it. Okay, so now you know all the steps. And if you're ready to get started creating content that is profitable, I've got the Profitable Content Creators Guide right below in the notes for you. to help you figure out how to get started and what to do next. All right, so let's dive into today's question. So the first question, and if you're ready and you are already making money in your business and you know you want to delegate some stuff out, you want to hire a virtual assistant. So where do you go? So I've tried a lot of things. I've tried Upwork, I've tried Fiverr, and really the best place that I have found people is this site called Online Jobs. And I've got the link right down below for you so you can go there and check it out. It is a virtual website full of people wanting to help, wanting to be an assistant for you. And what's great is a lot of these people they're all overseas in the Philippines. They're very educated. I have gotten some great people on my team from that site. Couldn't live without them. And all you really need to do is look for someone that has social media experience. Okay, you can easily teach them to blog and all of that. That's where I would go and find my virtual assistant. Okay, that's hands down the best place to go. Okay, so number 2 is, how do I delegate and make sure that they're getting things done? So the smartest thing that you can do is start by making a list. You want to do this before you hire that person, because then you have a kind of an idea of what you're looking for, right? What are all the tasks that you want them to do? And then you need to write out the step-by-step process of what you want them to do. And that is really great. And why you want to spend some time doing that is once you do it and you have it all documented, anybody can do it. So if the first person doesn't work out, then you can always give them these step-by-steps for the next person and the next person. And then one bonus tip I want to give you with those directions that you're going to get, always create a video. A video is really helpful, and I use Loom to walk through the process. It answers a lot of questions that sometimes the step-by-step how-to process doesn't answer or isn't clear. So some people do great with just written word, but some people need both, okay? So I would do that. Then I usually have like a spreadsheet with that list on it, linked to the standard operating procedures and the videos. And then I have a schedule for them on that and say, Mondays, I want you to do this. Tuesdays, I want you to post my blog. It needs to be scheduled and to post here. Thursdays, then I want you to promote it, so on and so forth. So they at least know by day of the week what to do, okay? And I used to do that, but now I use Asana, and I'll have the links for you below just for those people who want to check out Asana. But it's pretty much, it's the automated version of that with repeating due dates and things like that. But what I just gave you was the low tech version of that, okay? So definitely you need those standard operating procedures and a checklist or a spreadsheet of what you want them to do day by day, and that will pretty much automate low tech way any kind of tasks that you can delegate to someone that's working for you, and that way you don't have to manage them and every single day telling them what to do, okay? It's well worth it to have that all done in advance before you go hire someone. Now, I just want to wrap this all up today and remind you that if you're ready to get started creating profitable content that builds your audience, turns them into leads, and also paying clients, I've got the Profitable Content Creators Roadmap in the notes for you below.
You've been listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, where content creators go to learn how to take their content creation to the next level. If you love the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. Until next time.